REM, as we know, is a sleep stage that is mostly characterized by its rapid eye movement during the stage. This stage is where we experience our dreams. It is also where we are the most awake during our sleep. And in order for our body to not act out our dreams, our brain actually shuts off our body functions. It temporarily paralyzes them. The reason we bring up this particular topic is to show just how important REM sleep and is to our memories and our memory systems. REM sleep can play a huge role in memories and our learning because we often tend to recall our most important dreams, or it seems like it. And if we make sure that we learn when we are awake, that when we are awake, it gets played in our dreams. It can hopefully help us in learning those procedures. What this presentation intends to do is show just how important what previous studies have done to demonstrate what happens to our memory while in REM sleep, and also how it is affected by this sleep stage.
Okay, so we're going to go over the first study that we did. The study was done by Unaginci, Palananca, Galmard, Dodev, Herlin, Stemiscu, and Arnolf. It was a study conducted involving the individuals that suffered from RBD, and they were sleep talkers. And the study was to see if they would utter back sentences while they were sleep talking. What the authors did was they gathered the patients and gave them verbal memory tasks. They studied them by recording using video polysomnography. The results showed that sleep-related verbal memory consolidation was maintained in patients with RBD. So the study is important because it shows how important people, even with RBD, can still show recall ability. And this also goes in hand what I talked about earlier by having some memories played back during REM sleep.
Okay, so there is another study, and this study, it talks about how sleep following learning is critically involved in memory information. There have been studies about information acquired during waking is reactivated and possibly consolidated during subsequent sleep, especially during REM sleep. The authors used an opposite strategy. They investigated the effects of REM enhancement on memory retention. What they found was that there was a highly significant correlation between training, REM values, and retention scores. The results suggested that an experimentally induced increase of REM after learning facilitates memory consolidation. The study is important in showing us how REM is important in retention and learning and how it consolidates memories. By enhancing REM sleep, we can recall things better, and in turn it helps us learn things better. This can be very useful, so it can be used to help us learn and study better.
Okay. So our next study, its main objective has been debated whether different stages of sleep, the human sleep cycle, are preferential for consolidation of explicit and implicit memories, or whether all the stages in succession are necessary for optimal consolidation. Here we investigated, the study investigated whether the selective deprivation of slow wave sleep or rapid eye movement sleep over an entire night would have a specific effect on consolidation in explicit and implicit memory tasks. So the method used was participants completed a set of explicit and implicit memory tasks at night prior to their sleep. They had one control night of undisturbed sleep and 2 experimental nights, during which either SWS or REM sleep was selectively deprived across the entire night. Sleep conditions counterbalance across participants. Polysomnography recordings quantified precisely the amount of SWS and REM sleep that occurred during each of the sleep conditions, and spindle counts were recorded in the task, the same sequence as the night before. The results were SWS deprivation disrupted consolidation of explicit memories for visuospatial information, and both SWS and REM sleep deprivation adversely affected explicit verbal recall. So this study shows us that REM sleep deprivation can play a role in limiting our abilities in explicit verbal recall, which kind of, I guess, can be associated, saying that REM sleep is a key factor in memory as far as explicit verbal.
Mm-hmm. Now, it brings us to another study where it talks about learning and memory, and this particular study is very interesting because it talks about the extinction of conditioned fear in basic mammalian mechanism for regulating negative emotion. So it talks about how sleep promotes both the consolidation of memory and the regulation of emotion. Sleep can influence consolidation and modification of memories associated with both fear and its extinction. There was brief overviews of the behavior and neural circuitry associated with fear conditioning, extinction learning, and extinction memory in the rodent and human. Interactions of sleep with those processes were examined in that particular study. Animal and human studies suggested that sleep can serve to consolidate both fear and extinction memory. In humans, sleep also promotes generalization of extinction memory. What the study found was that of low-level processes such as conditioning, extinction, and habituation, it allows sleep effects on emotional memory to be identified. An informed study of sleep's effects on more complex, emotionally salient declarative memories. Anxiety disorders are marked by impairments of both sleep and extinction memory, which is the thing that they talk about in the study. They also mention anxiety. And improving sleep quality, it may ameliorate anxiety disorders by strengthening naturally acquired extinction. What they did was they strategically timed sleep. It showed that strategically timed sleep may be used to enhance treatment of anxiety by strengthening therapeutic extinction learned via exposure therapy. The study is important because it still deals with fears that we have learned in the past, but more importantly, it shows us how time sleep, specifically REM sleep, can help in helping to get rid of anxieties and fears, and in turn can help many people. The main thing about the study is that it shows how there are the limbic structures for fear and memory that are also activated in REM sleep. So that is in turn how it helps us to get rid of these particular memories during REM sleep if we're using exposure therapy.
All right. So, newly formed memories are initially fragile and they require consolidation to be transformed into enduring state. Memory consolidation may occur during increased post-learning REM sleep. So, REM sleep deprivation during these periods impairs subsequent performance. The penduloleucoprotein nucleus, the PPT, and adjacent deep mescenocephalic reticular nuclei have been implicated in the generation of REM sleep. Following the 24-hour baseline recording, rats were trained on a two-way avoidance task for 50 trials a day over 2 days and retested on day 3. An EEG was recorded 22 hours after training. On training days 1 and 2, rats were injected with GABA agonist. It was called Balcfen and saline into the PPT and the DPME region at 0300 to coincide the start of the known RSW. Based on shuttle performance, saline rats were assigned to to a learning group that avoided foot shocks. At least 60% at retest or non-learning group that performed below this criterion. Balfoken injected rats were not assigned the poke hoc. into separate groups as all rats perform below the learning criterion. PPN, DPME infusions of the inhibitory GABA's agonist, balocafen, decreased REM and impaired subsequent memory performance. The normal GABAergic transmission in the PPN slash DPME may be necessary for REM to occur for the consolidation of the incentive learning. This is an interesting study because it showed how neurotransmitters also help with memory consolidation. We need GABA to make sure that REM sleep happens and that we can learn procedures better.
So, overall, sleep is an important aspect of our learning and memory. We all know that. And in specific REM sleep, it can play a huge role in consolidating both of these aspects. The studies show us how neurotransmitters can play a role in learning, and it even shows us that retention of people that talk during their sleep and the recall ability during REM sleep. One of the more interesting studies was that of REM sleep and fears. We found this particular study interesting because not only do we now know that the same systems that are activated when fear, along with anxieties, improving sleep can also help us in getting rid of these conditioned fears and anxieties. In turn, REM sleep doesn't only help in memory retention, but it can also be used to get rid of anxieties, and maybe in the future it can be used to manipulate dreams in our own favor to make sure we can recall more of the stuff we learn. And in conclusion, that is the gist of our presentation. Thank you.